Hi everybody, my name is Safia, but you can just call me Safi. And today we're going to be talking about how I struggled making friends in my life. Okay, let's get into it. My name is Safia, but you can just call me Safi. And I was diagnosed with autism at the age of 29. And I'm using my platform to tell you stories about my experience and to educate you in some way, maybe to help you figure out something about yourself or a loved one. Disclaimer, I am not a medical professional. I am a person who experiences autism and would like to share it with the world so that I may help somebody, especially somebody in Jamaica. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about my struggle making friends. And it mainly started in university. So let's go back. In childhood, I was a very quiet child, but a very smiley child. In class, everybody knew Safia. She's quiet, but she's always very smiley. So everybody was nice to me. One and two time, a boy will tease me, call me fat stuff and fatty boom boom and all them something. Overall, my experience as a youngster was okay. Okay, so from my childhood, as I said in my previous video, if you want to watch my previous video about my diagnosis story, it should be somewhere here. Please watch it after this video. So everyone always remember Safi as being pleasant and smiley and laughy and stuff. But I didn't speak much. But a lot was going on up here from a young age, right? I remember I used to love walking around school by myself and just daydreaming, just making up stories in my head, looking at certain places and making up stories. So I was always okay with my own company. So in high school, I was more in a group because at Immaculate, you develop friendship groups and you kind of stick with it throughout high school. So I had my friendship group. I loved being in it and everything. But my biggest issue came in university, surprisingly. I had such a difficult time making friends in university. Let me be honest, it was mainly women I had problems with making friends. And then when you make friends with guys, you don't know their intentions. So it just was so, right? I don't know what person's perceptions of me were, but I always got a really negative reaction from certain women, certain people. I don't know if they misinterpreted my quietness for being stush or stuck up or anything. But most of the time when I'm in class, I'm super anxious, super nervous, like trying to just appear normal because people don't know what was going on behind closed doors. I'm the type of person, if I'm in a crowd and I'm sitting down quietly and I see everyone else enjoying themselves, talking to each other, interacting, socializing, I'm perfectly happy. I am not the type that has to be involved in a conversation or involved in social experiences to feel happy. So it may have come across to people that I'm stuck up, stush, and all these things. I didn't want to talk about the normal stuff. Like, people like to talk about what's popular in the news and trending things. I want to talk about where do we go after we die. I want to talk about I want to talk about like the most random stuff. If I'm obsessed with something at that moment, that's what I want to talk about. And usually people aren't really interested in what I want to talk about. I remember I was getting to know someone, and I am a music person, right? I love music so much. And a symptom of autism is that when you have a special interest in something, sometimes you can go a bit overboard with it. So when I would talk to this person about music, I would just like text, paragraphs upon paragraphs upon paragraphs about music, which music I love, send them links to songs I love, why I like this person's voice, listen to this person's tone, oh my gosh, they sound like an instrument, this and that. And I'm like, maybe they didn't like music as much as I did. So it kind of was like, whoa, too intense for them. So sometimes when I have a special interest in something, I may talk a bit too much about it, a bit too in depth about it, and then they're not interested. But I'm so interested that I don't notice that they're not as interested. Something else about me is once I think that you're my friend, I think that you're my friend. So even if we don't talk for 5 years and I see you, I think that we're still friends, like good friends. So I'll hug you and say hi and everything. And then sometimes I get this reaction that's very dry and I'm like, what's happening? We're friends. But then when I look back, I'm like, oh, I haven't talked to them since 2019. But in my head, we're good because I'm thinking of you, I'm wishing you well in my head, but I'm not necessarily communicating with you or reaching out to you, which is something that I need to work on. Up until this day, I need to work on it. So with my issues, I always went long periods of time without talking to people. Not intentionally, but I was just going through a lot and I didn't realize how long of a time span it was between the last time I spoke to you and now. And it sucks because it affected some relationships, but I have to just give myself grace because I know that I didn't realize that those things are important. I didn't realize that you should talk to your friends all the time and try and hang out. Those things just didn't come naturally in my brain. If I'm going to hang out with you, it's gonna be a one-on-one situation. I cannot manage 2 friends at the same time. It's hard for me. If I'm being myself, if I'm masking is a thing that persons with autism do to help them in their day-to-day life by putting on a mask or a persona that is easy for them to switch on in social situations. So if I am masking, life is a little easier for me to navigate social situations. But if I'm being my complete self, one-on-one is perfect for me, right? I can see you every once in a while, that's perfect for me. But this bagger friend, I've never been that person. And, sometimes it's lonely. Let's be honest. Sometimes it's lonely. But I know that I don't have the capacity to deal with so many persons. So let's talk about the run-ins I've had with women. I've had so many experiences where it's either they love me or they absolutely despise me at first and then they love me. And I'm like, why is it always like this? I've had about 6 instances I can think of right now where the person just didn't like me. And whenever it happens, I'm like, okay, here we go again. It's like people have this idea of who I am. And when they actually get to know me, they're like, oh, I understand Safia now. Like, I remember at UTech especially, I had so many run-ins with women who just did not like me. I remember I was in a group. The whole class was one group. We were going to plan an event for a course or whatever. I didn't end up finishing that course. That's a whole nother story. And a young lady in the group just took set on me. Something about me she just did not like. And we had a WhatsApp group where everyone was in the group. And she decided to pick a fight with me. And I'm like, what is going on? What the hell is going on, right? She started cuss clout after me and this and that, and people in the conversation LOLing and dead with laughing and all this stuff. And I just said to her, I don't conduct myself this way, like, so I'm not going to respond. Should I have said that? No, I shouldn't have, because she continued. She got even worse. She cussed me clean. when I went back to school the next day, because we had class the next day, I didn't really do anything or say anything, and people are looking around like, oh, what's gonna happen? Drama. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, something must be going on with her, because I didn't do anything to her. So why am I going to have a argument in public and this and that? And that's just how my brain works. Like, I don't see the point. I don't have this pride where I have to make sure people know I'm not soft and all these things. I don't care, right? So I saw her and she couldn't say anything to me because she knows she was wrong. So I've had so many experiences like that. A lot of people take my quietness for being a pushover, and I'm not a pushover. I just see the world differently. So I like to observe my environment and act accordingly. I've been through a lot of negative experiences, so I'm very observant of my environment. I also have an issue sensing danger. Because I have an issue sensing danger, I am extra careful. So this young lady was trying to take advantage of my kindness. We had a music class where you had to attend 2 concerts. She missed the first concert and she's going to miss the second one. So she said, Safia, can write down my name that I was in attendance. And I said, no, I can't do that. I cannot do that. The next day she came to class very upset, walk up into my face, doing this stuff, right? Like threatening me. And I'm like, why is this happening again? What do I do to people, right? It's happened with men too. So let me not say only women. It's happened with men as well. My life has been threatened because people have this perception of me that it's not reality. This man threatened to unalive me because he likes me, and I'm a very calm person when it comes to telling someone like I don't want to be in a relationship with you. And he didn't want to take no for an answer, so he threatened my life, and that was a very tough time for me. So I've been through a lot of things with people where they just have the wrong impression of me because of my lack of some social skills. Let me say that I've developed them a lot over the years. I'm basically saying that people took my social awkwardness, my lack of communication skills, and they ran with it and just made up their own story about me instead of getting to know me. And that is the contributing factor as to why I've struggled to make friends. I hope that in the future I can make more friends. That'd be nice. But until then, I'm very grateful for the friends I have and for my family. If you struggle with making friends, you might have some social issue or some communication issue that you can work on or learn to manage, right? Sometimes it's not just black and white. So it's good to be aware of those things so that you in yourself don't feel as bad. I understand if someone don't like me because they've gotten to know me and they don't like my personality. That is fine, right? I am not upset about that. I don't care about that. If you don't like me because of who I am, I cannot help you with that. You just have to stop talking to me or stop interacting with me because I am who I am. But a lot of people never like me from the jump. They don't even know me. That was very tough. So that's why it was hard for me to make friends. So now my expectations are extremely low when I meet people. I used to meet people and be like, oh, I think me and you are going to be friends. You seem cool and this and that. And then human beings have this habit of saying, yeah man, we're going to link up, we're going to hang out and this and that, and it never happens, right? I used to struggle with that. I used to be like, why do people lie so much? But it's human behavior. It's just something that human beings do. They say stuff that they don't mean because socially it's just acceptable to do that. But I'd rather you just tell me that so I don't have these expectations. But I realize that that's not the norm. People not going to say to your face, I don't want to be a friend. I want to hang out today and that's it. Bye. But to me, that would help me a lot. It would help me a lot. So to wrap things up, I struggled with making friends in university because of people's perceptions of me. But once people got to know me, the ones who decided to get to know me, they liked me. And if they didn't like me, it didn't bother me because at least I know that they gave it a go. They gave it a chance. So I'm happy with my life right now. All I need is like 1 and 2 more friends. I would like that. I would really like that. Yeah, that'd be cool. So I hope you enjoyed this story. It's a little all over the place, but that's how my brain works, honestly. I try to be organized and so I'm just trying to be myself, more of myself. I am a beautiful mess. And I love that about myself. So thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you liked it. Not if you never like it. Like it if you liked it. Share it if you really want to share it. Subscribe if you really want to subscribe. Okay? And if you haven't watched my last video about my diagnosis story, please watch it. It's pretty interesting. And until then, bye.